Hi, and welcome to something a little bit different. So I've been wanting a way to connect with you guys, the viewers, in between projects so that you don't have to wait 6 months for every new video. And I wanted an excuse to talk about my car, which is a 1972 AMC Ambassador. So this is the first episode of the Ambassador Vlogs. Real creative name, I know, right? Basically, this is just a vlog about my journey with this car, along with automotive stuff that's in the news, commentary, classic car stuff. So I thought for the first episode, we'll talk about this car. It's a 1972 AMC Ambassador Brougham sedan. So the Ambassador came in 3 body styles in 1972. You could get a coupe, you could get a wagon, or you could get a 4-door sedan. This was the most luxurious car that AMC built at the time. It was their top-of-the-line model. And this particular sedan is a Brougham, which was a trim level that was more luxury-oriented versus the other trim level, which was SST, and that was the sportier version, which I don't know how sporty a car like this could be. You could get a spoked steering wheel and some other stuff like that that made it sportier. And if you got an SST 2-door and you got a 401 V8, then you'd really have something that was pretty muscular, pretty cool. Unfortunately, the sedan is not as cool, but I think that's why I like it. So in 1972, you had a bunch of different engine options. You could get a 304, you could get a 360, or you could get a 401. And my car is the 360, or 5.9 liter V8, connected to a Chrysler 3-speed TorqueFlite automatic. 1972 was the first year AMC decided to start buying transmissions from Chrysler. My transmission, unfortunately, has a little bit of trouble shifting into third, so I'm going to get that taken care of. Of course, the most noticeable fault on the exterior is the vinyl roof. The previous owner noticed that the roof was starting to come apart and wisely decided to tear off the bad section before it got caught in the wind and flew off in the middle of the highway. But other than the roof and transmission, this is a great car just for driving around. I think it's such a comfortable car. It has this super boosty, light power steering. I mean, you could steer with a pinky if you wanted. And the wheel itself is pretty comfortable. I love these old, hard plastic wheels. I mean, I'd hate to hit my head off one in a crash, but the interior is enormous. You have oodles of leg room. It has a split bench, or I don't know if they actually market it as buckets, but it's a split bench seat. In Ambassadors, you could not get leather. You could either get vinyl or fabric, and every single Ambassador I've seen with fabric seats is just utterly destroyed. The fabric looks like it's paper thin. I don't know what it's made of, but it's shredded, it's worn, there's holes and stuffing poking out of it. Oh look, cool guy alert. Somebody in a Honda Accord just passed me. So one of my favorite features in this car is the speedometer. It's horizontal, which already makes it cool, and then it has wood grain inside of it. So it's just so over the top 70s tacky. I don't know how accurate the speedometer is though. I've gotten it up to 75 miles per hour, but right around 60 it seems to get a little bit shaky. When I got to the top end of 75, some of the shake went away, but I don't really have enough courage to push through that fear wall. The speedometer does go up to 120, and I am totally happy not finding out if the car will actually go that fast. But it is still fun to just floor it and listen to how loud the engine gets. You realize, yeah, this is the same engine they were putting in Javelins and AMXs and stuff. I mean, it's a good sounding engine. It just has a lot of car to move. Whenever you get on the gas real hard in this car, the wiper fluid must slosh around in the tank, because you'll see a little bit just spritz out onto the windshield every time you accelerate really hard. All Ambassadors came with standard air conditioning, which of course my standard air conditioning just blows warm gasoline fumes into the cabin. It doesn't really cool you off. So I'm much more of a windows kind of guy anyways. This car has vent windows, which are fantastic. And then it also has floor vents where you pull the little plunger out and it lets cold air spool up into the footwell. On a cool summer night, open up those floor vents, get the cold air flowing up your pant leg. That must be how it feels to chew 5 gum. One thing about this car though is that it's pretty anonymous. Everywhere I go in it, I don't get a lot of attention, which, car guys say they don't want attention. We all want attention. That's why we drive old cars, so that we can impress each other. This car impresses nobody. People just don't even look at it. I could be driving a Ford Crown Victoria for all people care, and I would get noticed more. Every now and then, though, you will get somebody that, you know, gives you a thumbs up. Usually it's like an older guy in a pickup truck. He's like, oh, cool, bro. Well, I guess old guys don't say bro. They're like, nice car. And if you're at a gas station, you might get a nod or somebody say, oh, I remember those, or boy, haven't seen a Matador in a long time, and then you don't have the heart to tell them, well, it's not a Matador, it's an Ambassador. I did have a guy come up to me at a car show and try and tell me about the fun times he and a girl had in an AMC Ambassador once, and there's not really a good way to tell somebody you're not interested in that kind of story. Now, laugh all you want, but I've wanted an AMC Ambassador for a long time. There's just something about large American sedans that has always appealed to me. When I was, 14, 15, I started reading books about old cars, and I thought that the 69 to 73 Ambassadors were such a gorgeous design. Those little cusps on the hood, and the way the grille looks, and the quad headlamps, and the little eagle crest shield. And then also the name is so cool. There's just something so stately sounding about Ambassador. You know, it just was unlike any other name I'd heard of. I think that's part of being like 14 or 15, is that you get really obsessed about things at that age. My obsession was with AMC cars. I mean, some people get obsessed with video games. Some people get obsessed with sports. I mean, some people get obsessed with Beyblades. I'm not judging. And that's the thing. Lots of kids dream about driving Ferraris, but a lot of them never actually drive Ferraris. There's something to be said for having realistic expectations in life, and I'll probably never own a Ferrari. I mean, there's tons of cars I would love to own. This is not the only car I fantasized about, but it was the most attainable of all the cars I dreamed about. And it's super satisfying to drive something that you dreamed about having one day. Thank you for watching the first installment of the Ambassador Vlogs, and I've got more on the way. I hope you'll stay tuned, and of course I've got more big videos on the way too. We've got some special projects, time warp test drive stuff coming up, and of course I'm also working on a documentary film. I've mentioned that several times in other videos. You can check out our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/American Motors Movie, and of course there's the AutoMoments Facebook page. You can check that out too. As I said earlier, I'd like to do a questions and answers blog, so post your questions in the space below, and hopefully we can chat soon. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and catch you later.